I know for a fact that police officers that spoke up about it were threatened with the jobs. Care home staff that refused to let us out the care home was suspended. It happened in one of my care homes. And the one point I do remember the most, and it sticks with me one of the most, was the moment I realised that no one was going to help me get away. And
Fiona, thank you so much for giving me your time. I know this is not an easy thing. So you had a court case in 2019 where the crimes that had been committed against you in 2008 were finally brought to justice. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, so I was abused actually between 2007 and 2011. I know that social services and the police knew about my abuse from March 2008. That's how we managed to get convictions, because it was evidenced. I know for a fact that police officers that spoke up about it were threatened with the jobs. Care home staff that refused to let us out the care home was suspended. It happened in one of my care homes. As I got older, I started fighting back and saying no, and that's when the rapes went from being from them influencing me to them being violent and aggressive.
Do you mind me asking how old you were when it first started?
13.
You were 13.
Yeah. These are times I went back to the care home with bruising around my neck and blood down my legs and told them what had happened, and they still didn't report it to the police and stuff like that. The moment I realised that no one was going to help me get away, and I was trapped in that life, and the only way that I'd get out was by trying to take my life, and I mutilated my legs and I tried to kill myself. That wasn't just because of what the men were doing to me, that was because I was completely left alone with no help and I had no means of escaping.
Do you remember the names of the people? Do you know who they were?
This is where it becomes complicated, because these people weren't on the ground and they were making decisions that were affecting thousands and thousands of children. These people, they still work in social services, they still work in the police forces. Every grooming case involves trafficking between cities and across the country. Localised inquiries cannot tackle that, they can't get a full scale of the problem. This is why inquiries are needed, and the inquiries, they can't be on a voluntary basis. No council with a high level of CSE and a high level of failings is going to voluntarily put themselves forward for an inquiry. They need to have statutory powers, they need to be able to compel witnesses, and most of all they need to be able to hold accountable the people that need to be held accountable. And that cannot be done by voluntary local inquiries.